Vhsl Ratings released. Big R drops its 5th straight game, and Rye Cove is no longer among Southwest Virginia's unbeaten. Welcome to episode 5.6. After the whistle, I'm Brian Moore. How was your fellas' week?
Good. Can't complain.
It was okay. I went out of the country.
Went out of the country, and you didn't get Brittany Griner. Who
No.
was afraid that was going to happen.
I did not get grindered.
It's a good thing, because that was one of our
Canada
kickers.
was a nice place, guys. Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna blame them no more.
The only thing good out of this weekend was Cooper Rush.
So, they did get a win, didn't they? All right, well, fellas, let's jump straight into a couple things real quick before we do it. Later on in the show, we're going to cover the Vhsl ratings.
You'll
when we
be
get-
shocked.
when we get to our top 5, and you're probably going to
Unless we got fake news.
Yes, that's true. Unless our information is inaccurate, this is somewhat of a shocker.
Come straight from the VHSL.
So we will take a look at that a little bit later on in the show. Right now, we're going to go straight to our weekly recap. And if I forget a game, it's not because I didn't try.
I'm taking Patrick Henry over Royal Retreat this week.
Are you?
Yeah. I think they'll beat on 48-42.
That's a pretty good prediction.
Yeah.
Pretty good prediction. Now, PH 48, Rural Retreat 42.
Oh!
How about that?
God!
In overtime, did you see that coming?
Yes.
All right, Cameron Goodspeed, 7 carries, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns for PH. Mr. McLovin, McPhail, 180 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns himself. Rural Retreat had it 368 yards rushing, so this was a really exciting game. Gatlin Height, 27 carries, 186 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Rural Retreat, who loses another heartbreaker in overtime.
And well, the thing is about this, Royal Retreat's there in every game. Except the one game that got blew out, but every other game has been right there overtime by 2 points.
I think they're gonna be there.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're gonna be in the playoff. They're gonna be
there.
So.
It's a tough loss, and when you lose games like this, it's easy to get your morale down. But a team that goes through something like this early in the season could actually pay dividends later on.
That's right.
Especially when the possibility, with the way the ratings work out, the possibility for revenge turns its head back up. All right, let's take a look. Abingdon 27, Wise 26. Falcons were down 13 points with a little over 3.5 minutes left to go in the game.
Wise had a ball on their 30.
Well, Luke Homeacre had a touchdown pass just inside 3.5 minutes, and then he had a 6-yard touchdown run with 38 seconds left to go in the game. And then Toby Reed's PAT was the difference for the Falcons. But probably the most impressive stat coming out of this game, 26 of the yellow flags for 225 yards combined.
That's crazy.
Is that a lot?
That's a couple. That's a couple. Wise had them.
Hang around a while.
Yeah.
Wise had this game won, and Abingdon snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, and gets a big Mount 7 win there. Homeacre 47, Chilhowie 21. Aiden Lowe came up big for the Tigers, record-breaking night, 341 yards rushing on 20 carries. He had 5 touchdowns. One of them was a pick 6. The Warriors are now 0-6. J.I. Burton 50, Eastside 21. Trey Keys 146 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns for the Raiders. And Burton had a 417 to 131 offensive advantage. Eastside, the woes continue.
Burton's starting to heat up a little bit. It's getting better.
So a little bit of mold there. I think that's second or third straight now. I know they have avenged 3 losses from last season already. That's a good possibility. Union 40, Tom Walker 0. Rayshawn Anderson's back in the news. Threw for 115 yards and a touchdown, ran for 79 yards, 2 more scores, and the Bears blanked.
And I think that one touchdown went to freshman Cam Boston.
I think he did.
If I got my information right.
Unless we have been fed incorrect
That's
data.
right, and that could happen.
Graham 27, George Wythe 7. This was a pretty interesting game. Coming out, Maroon score on the first drive. The G-men, however, remain undefeated. The big stat coming out of this game is Tydres Clements, 273 yards rushing on 16 carries, had 3 touchdowns for the G-men. G-men still undefeated. Maroons not in bad shape, 4-1 now.
Boys, you know, there ain't a lot of things that go undefeated, but Graham's one of them.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not going there. GW comes out, scores the first drive. Things are looking good, and Graham locks them down after that. Took them a little bit of a while to score. Tighter than I expected.
That could be a question that they can answer on Facebook.
I think George West is a pretty good football team, man. You're gonna see them.
They're coming to town eating the BELLACINO'S Friday.
That's right.
Thank you, George Witt. Appreciate it.
All right.
We don't get nothing out of it but free food, but we'll take it. We appreciate you coming down, dropping the dollar.
All right, moving on here. Betsy Lane, Kentucky, in a shocker. 36, Hurley
Biggest
28.
upset in 2 states right there.
I mean, Gary, you and I, 2 weeks in a row, boys, we have been
I guess I
conned.
jinxed them.
We've been conned, is what it is. We were convinced that.
I won't this week. I took them out.
Well, 4-game win streak now over for the Rebels. Landon Bailey still 3 touchdowns, 122 yards.
Well, Betsy Lane had 2 pretty good backs. I don't know what the number 20's name was, but he was pretty daggone good. He was up there, not as good as Ian Scammell, but not far behind him.
Well, Hurley, it was game pretty much all night there.
It was just back and forth, man. It was a shootout. Just you thought everyone got the ball lights was gonna win. That's the way it was going. But they come up with a couple of key 4th down conversions on us to extend the drive, and
Well,
they just got it done in the end.
Coming from a person that watches the game, I will not mention his name, and he never says anything out of the way about this and that, but he did say at the end of the game, there was a major holding call, obvious, that was not called. This come from a spectator, from a former coach, and he says, I don't say nothing. He said they still had a chance to stop them, but the penalty would have really helped them.
Could've changed that.
Could have changed probably the outcome.
Well,
Said he got tackled.
Here's the deal, we had our chances too.
That's right, that's what he
We
said.
got down on the 3-yard line.
But like he said, you call that holding call and back them up, now their mindset's different.
True.
As a coach,
Yep.
you're thinking, Lord, what do I do now? But, again, like he said, Hurley still had a chance to stop them, but.
Well, it was a tough loss for the Rebels, but, they're you guys 4-2 now. So still sitting in pretty good shape. That's one that you let get away from you, but, moving forward, it's one of them games you can't get back, but hopefully, you learn some good lessons in it. Next, Ridgeview 33, Richland 6. Blues are now 1-5. They dropped 5 consecutive games after winning their home opener against Gate City. Richland scored with 2:09 left to go in the game. Cannon Hill had 3 touchdowns. Pack's now 5-0, setting up the big game this week. We'll find out, who's going to have bragging rights over around that way as well. So Ridgeview 33, Richland.
So
Rigger said he's just gonna find out who's gonna lose to Tommy Palmer.
Yeah. So Ridgeview is undefeated.
Yes.
Gosh, that's 3 things right now, and it's undefeated. And 2 of them play football.
What about that?
Huh.
Lehigh 42, Rye Cove 24. Grayson Huff 231 yards rushing for Lehigh. 3 touchdowns, made sure that Rye Cove's dream season at least had 1 blemish on it. The Cove is now 5-1. They trailed 22-6 at the half. As we expected, lead just a little bit better.
This throw the ball pretty good. It's.
Yeah, and this is one of those situations where.
But they didn't fold at halftime.
That's right. They were able to finish the game, and this is where we were at just a year ago. So. Hats off to Rye Cove, but Lehigh continues the road to improvement, so that's
Yeah,
also
both
good to see.
teams on the up and up.
All right, fellas, next, Gate City 28, 11-14. Gate City's now 4-2, 292 yards rushing for Gate City. Big thing, 600th win for the Gate City football program the other night. This game was tied 14-all at half. Gate City pulled away, and that tells you, Darrell Taylor, he's got about 13 or 14 seniors on that Lebanon team, but you got a lot of pups too on there. And
That's right.
Lebanon, that's a team that's gonna be, give them a chance, they'll be in there in the mix. They're probably gonna be in the playoffs as well. Northwood 20, Eastmont 6. Northwood's now won 3 straight, and Northwood's defense has only given up 19 points in the last 3 games. So got a little bit of momentum going there for them. Good to see the Panthers doing well. Big game here in Buchanan County, Southwest Virginia game, former Southwest District rivalry game. Talk about it just a little bit. Tazewell comes into Grundy, wins 28-14. Carter Creasy had 314 yards and 3 touchdowns, 314 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and all of that was done in the rain against the Grundy defense. That's what makes it that much more impressive.
Got breaking news for these 2 guys. We'll pause for a second.
Got you. Previous 2 weeks, Grundy puts up 124 points. They can put up 14 points this week. I think Tazewell's defense did a heck of a job. Grundy with the edge as far as the running game goes.
Well, they were winning 14-13 in the 4th quarter.
14-13. Tazewell scores like in the 2nd, 3rd play of the game. Grundy goes down the field, takes an 8-7 lead. Grundy goes in, I think at the half, 14-13. Tazewell comes right back out.
Quarter.
Probably a big situation. Tazewell had a 4th and goal play in the 4th quarter to get a first down. Grundy stops them there. Could have stopped their momentum, but they wasn't able to. Tazewell puts it in, scores, goes up 21-14.
Well, Grundy stopped them, I was told, at halftime.
Yeah, right
They
before
had the ball
halftime.
right before half, had the ball on the 1, and they stopped them.
Yeah, Grundy was in the hole there and managed to stuff it. Tazewell comes out, gets that next touchdown, and they had to go for it on 4th and goal inside the 10. They got the first down, was able to score. They went up on Grundy 21-14, and then on the very next kickoff, Grundy bobbles the kickoff. Tazewell recovers and scores, and that's your margin of victory.
I think Tazewell must play pretty good defense in this game.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it sounds
Yeah,
like. That's
yeah.
good.
Well, they played Riverheads the week before, so they were kind of prepared to tackle
Yeah.
the big backs.
Another thing too about this game, looking at it, it was wet, rainy, a little bit muddy and everything. Only 1 turnover all night long.
And Tazewell threw the ball.
Yeah, Tazewell passed the ball, and
I mean, it was only for 5 yards, but.
well, still, but that's telling me, maybe that was Grundy's game plan, keep them underneath. But the receivers as quick as Tazewell's got, you don't want them in open space against anybody. And I don't know, that might be something they want to look at later on down the line if they run into a team that's that quick, because anybody can pass the ball when it's raining. You need to probably check your coverage. I'm just going to be honest with you. All right, let's see here. I got one more, fellas, for you. Narrows, and this was a big game. Narrows 29, NARS 29, Holston 27. NARS stopped a 2-point conversion by the Cavs with 2 minutes left to go in the game to tie the game. But here's probably the most impressive thing about the game. NARS was up 29-14 with about 10 minutes to go, and Holston came all the way back. The Cavs just came up a little bit short on that 2-point conversion. Otherwise, we're looking at overtime there as well. So Holston's showing that they're still game. All right, that takes.
They're playing some good ball to have 22.
Yeah, that score kind of surprised me as well. I agree. All right, well, that takes care of all of our recap. Moving on here, a recap brought to you by Buchanan Therapy Services. Want to recognize them real quick and thank them for sponsoring this segment of the program. All right, up next we have our True Point Bank Peak Performer of the Week. And this week's Peak Performer of the Week is being brought to you by True Point Bank. And his name is Mr. Cam Bostic from the Union Bears. Cam had 6 receptions, 67 yards, and 1 touchdown.
They don't pay dirt, boys. Union just moved up in the polls.
You said it. When
That's right, when he did.
You would. Somebody will look at that. 6 receptions, 67 yards, touchdown for a freshman. 2A is pretty impressive.
That's pretty good.
Pretty impressive number. So congratulations to Cam Bostic. Union Bears, our Peak Performer of the Week. All right, up next we have our BELLACINO'S Player of the Week. And this week our BELLACINO'S Player of the Week is from Hurley High School. His name's Mr. Logan Hopkins. Let's take a look at Mr. Logan Hopkins.
Our guys, we're here with the BELLACINO'S Player of the Week, Mr. Logan Hopkins from Hurley High School. Logan, we came up a little bit short on the scoreboard this week. We had a big game on the rushing side. We had 260 yards rushing, and actually had some big games earlier in the season. You've been a key catalyst for us. So just talk a little bit about this game Friday, and what we got to do to get this home.
Well, it's tough losing by just a touchdown, but I feel like we come out and showed good effort. We didn't really stop throughout the game. We kept it going. We just come up short on the scoreboard. It's just a couple key plays we can lose.
Absolutely, man. I just want to tell you the big influence you've been on the offensive line this year. Offensive line has produced big games last few Fridays, and you've been a key cog in that. And, tell us a little bit about Homemaker. I know we got an open week this week, and tell us a little bit about what we're going to do to bring this home.
Homemaker and Sorry Butcher, they're good. But you got to come off the ball, fire out. You got to win the offensive line first. If we don't win that,
Good deal, man. Congratulations on the Player of the Week, and look forward to working with you the rest of the time.
All right, congratulations, Mr. Logan Hopkins, Hurley High School, our BELLACINO'S Player of the Week, brought to you by BELLACINO'S Pizza right here in Grundy, Virginia. And folks, if you ever come through Grundy, Virginia, be sure to stop, check out this place. Best food in Buchanan County, and great service to go with it. All right, up next we have our movie lines, and the way this works, we will give you a famous movie line or quote. You tell us who said it by simply going to our Facebook page, at After the Whistle, and in the comments section right below where we post episode 5.6, be the first one to reply with the correct answer, and you will be registered to win a free pizza here at BELLACINO'S. We'd like to congratulate last week's winner, Mr. Alex Tabor. He's the winner of our Who Said It last week. This is the third time now that Mr. Tabor has won. His name has been entered in 3 times, along with Rochelle Palmer. You can win multiple times, so by all means, listen to the show and get in there and get your name registered to win a pizza. All right, today's quote is also from a movie, and we're going to let Krieger take it away here.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. I'm back.
One more time.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
All right, folks, you heard it right there.
Ooh,
You heard it right there. That triggered something, didn't it?
yeah.
Triggered something. I don't know what happened. I could feel the vibe or whatever. Anyhow, tell us who said it, where it was said, and post it in our Facebook page at After the Whistle. All right, up next we've got our Stump the Crig segment. Each week our Stump the Crig segment is brought to you by Grundy Auto Sales, located of course in Grundy, Virginia. They sell tires, they do oil changes, they do wheel alignment, and they sell some pretty quality vehicles as well. So stop by and check out the folks at Grundy Auto Sales. All right, I have here in my possession an envelope. This envelope has been hermetically sealed in a bank vault. True Point Bank, as a matter of fact, been hermetically sealed in a bank vault under the watchful care of armed security for the last week. Nobody has seen the contents of this. It was recently delivered to BELLACINO'S in an armored truck with an armed security guard. I have here the envelope. The way this works is the Crig over here will tell me what the answer to the question is inside this envelope before I read the question. That's right, folks. He's going to tell me the answer before I ever read the question. That's just how good he is. All right. I have not seen the contents of this. Have you?
No.
All right. Neither
Been
one of
in
us have
Canada.
seen the content. He's been in Canada, so how could he
But I
possibly?
got the answer from Canada.
Got the answer from Canada. All right. Speaking of Canada, where's your backpack at?
I don't know. It's been a long weekend.
All right. It probably got caught up in customs.
They
up there in
did, I
Canada,
think,
didn't it?
yeah, they took it.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. All right. Here,
Smelled smoky. I didn't need to bring it.
here's the question. You tell me the answer.
Boobs.
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 Boobs and that.
Boobs.
Boobs. Is that your final answer?
Boobs.
Boobs your final answer?
Yes.
Boobs. Boobs with an S or a Z?
Either.
Either one. Boobs. All right, let's see what we got here. Proof that men can focus on two things at once.
You're welcome.
What do you think about that, Pistol? You agree with that assessment, that answer? All right. Well, I'm not gonna say anything. I have been accused of not being able to concentrate myself, but, can't argue with that one.
Pistol contracts on more than one set.
All right. Right there you go. All right, you got the first one correct. You wanna try the second one?
Yes.
All right,
I
here we
got
go.
this one too. This
Now, the
was-
second one, what do you have?
The answer is.
That ain't even a word. All right, one more time.
That's the answer is.
I don't know that question.
There is no way. We got him on this one. There's no way. Final answer.
Final answer.
So your answer is, all right, here's the question. What do you call a fish with no eyes?
Told you.
I mean, you can't argue with that answer. That's true. Fish with no,
That ain't right.
ain't even right, is it? Well, all right. Once again, we have failed to stump the Craig 2 for 2 here, folks. Again, what do you expect? All right, up next, we have our top 5 brought to you by the Wooden Horse Grill in Hurley, Virginia. Stop by and check out the Wooden Horse Grill. Food so good, make your tongue want to slap your brains out. All right, our top 5, and fellas, before we get into our top 5, let's take a look here at the Vhsl ratings that came back out this week, and able to check them out online. And we're going to start with 1A and just kind of give our assessment of what's going on. Right now, number 1 in 1A from our Region 1D.
This is big.
Rycove War Eagles are still at number 1. They're sitting at 5-1, 5-1. Number 2, Patrick Henry Rebels.
Is this official or unofficial?
This, we're not gonna call it official. We may have missed a line here somewhere, but I'm pretty sure I didn't have to bring a magnifying glass. This print is pretty small. Number 3, Hurley Rebels. I mean, they're picking up points, these teams.
And this
are.
is after Friday.
Yeah, this is after Friday's loss.
So if you all would have picked that dub up Friday, you all might have been sitting at number 1.
A lot of ifs in
Very
there.
good. Ifs, that's true. Number 4, J.I. Burton Raiders. And, you know, the Raiders are a team on the rise, but, you know, they played enough to get the points evidently. Twin Springs coming in at number 5. Number 6, Northwood Panthers on a 3-game win streak also. Number 7, Lebanon Pioneers. And fellas, tied at 8 right now. We got Grundy and Holston, you know, and Grundy's team, everybody said was gonna win the region, and they may yet still win it. But right now, they're fighting for their life. Of course, we got half the season to go.
It's still a possibility for them to win the region.
I think so,
I
too.
think they're gonna get in.
Well, now, as far as parity goes, I think there's plenty of it in 1A. Now, these 8 teams right here, I could see 4 of these 8 teams winning this. I really could. And I wouldn't, you know, I could see some upsets happening here and there too. But what's gonna
I
happen?
can see a 7 or 8 seed winning it.
I could too. I think it's possible.
Yep.
I think it's right now, the way things are sitting, I think it's very possible.
Drake.
I'm not sure what Holston,
Holston.
Holston, I can tell you actually. I've got Holston's record right
I
here.
know my mom's 5-0.
Holston is sitting at 3-2 right now. So if you take a look at that, but what's gonna happen is you're gonna have a pretty good team. Well, you'd be stuck not just in the middle, you could have a pretty good team sitting at the back of the pack here.
Travel.
It's gonna travel, and, you know, some people don't want some of these teams coming in, so 1A, kinda interesting, but as always, things are very interesting when this is first released, and then starting, getting into about week 8 and 9, it starts kinda settling itself out, and a lot of the teams that you see here may not be where they are at. If there's one team right now in this top 8 that you guys think is the dark horse, who would it be?
I still think Grundy. If they're in the playoffs, Grundy's winning the region.
I think Grundy's a dark
I
horse
think
too.
Burton is too.
Well, we'll find out. They play in a couple of weeks.
There you go. I tell you, a team I think's gonna be game for anybody will be Lebanon. You know, I mean, Darrell Taylor's gonna have them prepared. I'm not saying they're gonna
Grundy-
get a win, but they're gonna scare somebody, you know.
Here's the three that's gonna win it. And if I'm wrong, congratulations to the other teams for stepping up. Grundy, Patrick Henry, Royal Retreat. That will be the region champion. One of those three.
I agree.
What's Rural Retreat?
They're not in
They're
there.
not in there now.
They're not
What's
in
their
there.
record?
Right now, Rural Retreat is sitting at 2-3 and 2 tough losses, and their ratings points is at 12.6. So, you know, they're on the outside looking in.
And Grundy's looking at George Wythe this weekend.
So, and speaking of George Wythe, they're number 3 in Region C right now. So like I said, a lot of things can change, but now people know where they're at, and there's gonna be some moving of the chess pieces here. All right, in 2A, fellas, the top, no doubt here, who it was, Graham sitting at number 1.
Undefeated.
Ridgeview at 2.
Undefeated. What's that third undefeated? Nobody.
Nobody. And coming in next, you got Virginia High at number 3. I could see them being there, I just didn't expect it, you know. Virginia High at 3, Gate City slips in now, right now they're sitting at 4. Lee is at 5.
Again, boys, that number 6 there, Union, ain't nobody wanna face them in the playoffs.
No, you don't want to.
You wouldn't even say their name a week ago.
I'm back, boys.
It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
what Union, that run game,
They put Cam in the end zone, boys.
they keep you off offense off the field.
They still ain't good, better than Palmer, so, I mean.
Tazewell sitting at 7. That's a team that continues to improve. It looks like their defense is stepping up. And number 8, Wise. So still some things going on there in 2A as well. I think those 8 teams are pretty much settled in. I don't know where the spots are going to be, but I don't look for any of those 8 to slide out. Still yet, it's going to be pretty interesting. All right, let's take a look at what we've got down for our top 5 this week. And we'll go through these pretty quick so we can move on to our picks. I'll start with mine. We'll start with 1A. 1A, I've got PH at number 1 after the win against Rural Retreat. I got Rural Retreat at number 2, Grundy at 3, Rye Cove at 4, and I got the Hurley Rebels at 5.
Love.
A little bit of love for the Rebels there.
Ain't no more over here.
At 5. Go ahead, Coach Tester. Tell us who you got at 5. Your top 5.
All right, my top 5, I'm going with Seth Patrick and the Patrick Henry Rebels after their big win over Rural Retreat.
Rural Retreat.
Number 2, I got Rural Retreat. Well, they said that right now, 2 and 3. They ain't even in the top
Yeah.
8, so they're number 2 in my book still right now.
I still think so too.
I still think they're number 2, and I got the Grundy Golden Wave at number 3, the Rye Cove War Eagles at number 4, and the John I. Burton Raiders Norton at.
You hang up on Norton, you think they're gonna do something, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, my top 5, boys, I got number 5, I got the Northwood Panthers. Northwood Panthers. Number 4, I got the Rye Cove War Eagles. Number 3, I got Rory. Number 2, I got Patrick Henry. And at number 1, I've said it from day 1,
Yeah.
the Mighty Wave, the Grundy Golden Wave.
All right, well, you've remained consistent. In spite of the loss, still got Grundy in there at number 1.
Who did in there? Who did I knock out this week?
I don't know. I'll check and see here in a minute. All right, my 2A top 5. Coming in at number 5, we got the Tazewell Bulldogs, number 5.
Pay on puppies.
Number 4, I still got some love for the Union Bears. And number 3, Gate City.
All right, boys, they ain't sneaking up. I told
I
y'all
won't sneak
3
up no
weeks
more.
ago. 3 weeks ago, I
I
told
got
you.
Number 2,
Change mine.
number 2, I got Ridgeview, Wolfpack, and number 1, I got the Graham G Men. What you got it?
Give me my pen.
Oh, my.
Oh, is he doing switcheroo over there?
He's allowed to do that before he says it.
All right, at number 5, I started at the top last time. Number 5 in 2A, I got the Gate City Blue Devils coming in at number 5. Number 4, I got the Virginia High, what are they? Bearcats. Virginia High
Bearcatties.
Bearcats. Number 3, I got the Union Bears.
Union?
Got the Union Bears at number 3. Number 2, I got the Wolfpack. And at number 1, I still got Patron and the G-Men.
All right, so G-men across the board there. And then our 1A is pretty consistent. So we're looking pretty good. I got Grundy at number 3, and so does Tester, and then Krieger's got him at 1. All right, that takes care of our top 5.
I don't get to give my top 5
You didn't do yours?
to
No, I'm sorry. You didn't give yours, did you?
It don't count.
All right, boys, mine's the only one that counts. At number 5, I got the Graham G-Men. At number 4, I got the Graham G-Men. At number 3, I got the Graham G-Men. At number 2, I got the Graham G-Men. At number 1, the Graham G-Men. Now, number 5, I got the Pound Puppies. I got Tazewell Bulldogs, boys. I got the pups. Number 4, I got the Great City Blue Devils. At number 4, at number 3, I got the Ridgeview Wolfpack. I know they're undefeated. But as I said, at number 2, I got the Union Bears, baby. I'm back on.
Back on the wagon.
I'm back on the Union Bears, baby. We are back.
You're like a drum.
Yep, we are back.
Off the wagon, on the wagon, on the wagon, off.
We are back with Union Bears at number 2, and I got the Graham G-Men at number 1. They're undefeated. Ridgeview's undefeated, which that other third undefeated might not be undefeated. Yeah, it's undefeated.
Yeah, it's undefeated. All right, there you go, folks. Like to thank the folks. Who is it that sponsors this? I done forgot. Middle Lane. No, it's not BELLACINO'S. I gotta look at my call sheet here. Well, I know who it is. I know who used to sponsor it.
IGA?
It used to be the Hurley IGA.
Yeah, you couldn't beat their meat.
But it used to be.
But now the Hurley meat market, you can't beat theirs.
Wooden Horse Grill. I don't know what happened to me there. Food's so good, but your tongue won't slap your brains out.
They get their meat from the meat market.
Yeah, which is right down the street
Across
from
the-
Hurley
Kind of
IGA.
same owner. So,
All right. All right, folks, there you go, our top 5. Up next, we have our Pigskin Prognostications brought to you by Buchanan General Hospital, located in. And our first game on the docket here, fellas, first of all, last week I was 13-3. Krieger, you were 13-3. You were 11-5 overall. You are 58-26, and me and Krieger are both tied at 63-21.
well, ain't no way. I'm gonna start flipping flops.
I've got these papers here.
No
If you
way.
don't keep the receipts for this
So am I
month,
winning
they'll accuse you
overall?
cheating. Then you're tied right
Ah,
now.
bull. I know I'm winning.
Well, if I wasn't sandbagging and, taking a shot here and there,
That's
I'd
your
probably
fault.
been up 8-10.
I take the guaranteed loss.
Locks. All right, well, let's see if we can get some locks here. George With at Grundy. Anybody wanna go first?
George With.
Krieger going with George With.
I think Grundy may be game, but I think George Wilson.
Oh, they're gonna play
I
good
think
just
George-
like they did against Tazewell, just like they did against
You picking or me?
Ridgeview.
You picking or me?
I did. I didn't specify why.
Well, I just say
I
Grundy's
picked.
gonna be game, but I think George Witt's got too much for him.
Well,
I
last
think
week,
I think they're very talented.
I agree. Well, they're gonna be just like Ridgeview. They were in the game at halftime.
Yeah.
At Tazewell, they were winning going into the fourth quarter. Not saying Grundy's gonna lose, I just feel like at the end time, be a good matchup.
I had,
The speed.
last week I went against the grain and thought Grundy would pull it out, and
Well, I've heard some people say that
I'm
George
going-
Witt may make the
I'm going with George With.
1A title game.
George
Well, they
With.
played Galax already.
Man,
Spain,
Playing tight.
I
Did
think. I think.
All right, so we got George With across the board there. This is a big game, boys. Either team could pick up a lot of points off of this, help them out. Not that George With, I think, is gonna need those points, but Grundy sure got to use them. All right, next, Lebanon at Northwood. This ought to be a good game.
Going with the Pioneers, I think the passing game's too much for the Northwood Panthers this week.
I'm going with Levy.
I think the losing streak, the winning streak for Northwood comes to an end. I'm gonna take Lebanon as well in this one. Darrell Taylor's team hung tough last week, and I think that they showed that they probably got upper hand on this bunch. PH at Holston, this is a classic rivalry game right here, should be a good one. I'll pick first. I think PH gets the win in this one, because I think PH is one of the teams that's gonna be there I'm sure they're gonna be in the semifinals of the region, if not the finals. So I'm going with PH.
I'm gonna have to go opposite because I gotta get back in the game. I gotta pick somebody.
That's
So
true.
I'm gonna go with Holston.
So you're picking the
Even though,
upset.
yeah.
Krieger?
Going with Patrick Henry just cause that's who Moore picked. I do think Holston will win the game, but I'm picking Patrick Henry cause I play to win. I play for keeps.
All right, Abingdon at Marion. You know, I've got Abingdon in this one. I just don't think Marion's got what it takes to beat them, but I think it could be a tight game going into halftime.
I'm still saying Abingdon.
Big. So you got Abingdon, what about you?
Abingdon.
Abingdon.
Marion in there.
Abingdon across the board, boys, that's a lock right there.
Loch Ness.
This is the game, boys. Well, I ain't gonna say it's the game. It's gonna have a great atmosphere. Tazewell at Richlands. Anybody wanna go first? I'm taking the Bulldogs. I think Richlands is gonna be more than prepared, but I think they're just gonna be outmanned in this.
I'm gonna go with the Blues one this year, Big Blues, at home, rivalry game.
How about you, Coach?
Bull puppies.
I think you know, there are two ships passing in the night. One's heading in a positive direction, the other one's not. That's a rebuilding year for Richlands. Homeacre at Virginia High.
I believe Virginia High's too much for the Tigers.
I'm going Virginia High as well. I just don't think Homeacre can contain them. Matter of fact, I think Virginia game going, keeps O'Quinn off the field, and I think Union comes out of here with the win. That would be
Go ahead,
considered an
Greg.
upset.
I'm going with Ridgeview at home.
Ridgeview, it's gonna be a good one.
I think Rose Ridge makes the difference.
I just think throwing the football makes a difference. And the only reason I say that, I mean, I've got some insight on some Union stuff that, I mean, they're rebuilding, but you know how they don't rebuild.
Right.
They start 4 freshmen. And they're pretty good freshmen, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think they're ready for them big wide receivers.
All right, this is probably, without a doubt, the game of the week, Union, Ridgeview. So we're split on that one. You two have Ridgeview, I've got Union in somewhat of an upset. Wise at John Battle. I'll go ahead and jump on this one, guys. I got Wise. I think the woes continue for John Battle.
Give me the Warriors on this one.
And Coach,
I'll take the Warriors, woo, woo.
here's a good one. This is gonna be another good one. J.I. Burton at Lehigh. I'll let somebody else pick this one, so I'll pick the last two first. Burton at,
I'm going with the Generals on this. It's at Lehigh, so I'm gonna go with them.
I think I'm gonna go with the Generals too.
I was getting ready to say the same thing. I think the Generals have the edge.
Just a passing game, boys.
Across the board in that, we all agree on that, so that should be a lock right there.
Lock net.
East side at Rye Cove. Coach Krieger, why don't you go first?
I'm going with the Cove, boys, the War Eagles, playing at home.
Code.
I'm going with the Cove too. I think they're back in the win column, sitting at 6-1 after this ball game. East side over after this. Castlewood Mustard Biscuit Brigade at Twin Springs. This game, you know, at the first year, I thought this could be a pretty tight game, but Castlewood seems to have stumbled a little bit now, and I'm going with Twin Springs in this one.
We'll go with the Titans also.
Coach,
Who is
Twin Springs, Castlewood.
Castlewood.
Twin Springs?
Twin Springs, toss the board, boys, that's a lock. All right, up next year, two big games. Thursday night football, Denver in Indianapolis.
Who's that?
Denver and Indianapolis.
Denver.
Denver's out the running back. He tore his ACL Sunday.
Which one?
Williams. He's pretty good.
Is the game at Denver?
At Denver.
Are you sure?
No. Yeah, it's at Denver.
If it's at Denver, that
I'll take Russell
altitude,
Williams.
altitude
He still
gets,
play for Denver?
The spread is 3.5, Denver.
so who you got?
Denver. I got Russell Wilson.
Who you got,
I
Coach?
got the Broncos.
Now, it's at Denver, correct? Okay, I've got Denver, due to the altitude.
In Colorado.
All right, last game right here, boys, big, this for, at one time was billed as.
We're 3-1 against
Southwest
on the
Virginia
past
game.
4 games.
I said at one time.
And it took a roughing the kicker, wasn't called, a
Can't go back
hold,
to
a block in the
1980.
back, block in the back and everything to beat us.
UVA Wise, Emory and Henry, where's it at?
Emory.
Emory. Well,
Don't even ask us who we're picking.
wonder who you're picking. Well, I watched Emory play a little
Every
bit.
born and
And,
every bred, and when we die, we'll be Emory dead. So rah rah for Emory, Henry, rah rah
Yours
for
is the deal,
Emory,
man.
rah rah for Emory, rah rah
I'll
rah.
give you a little breakdown what's going on. Emory's playing well right now. They're transitioning to D2. The game that I watched, it's probably not the game that they even won, the game that I watched that I've seen some clips on that surprises me is the Newberry game. They took them in overtime.
Coach Moore's at the game.
So that tells me how good they're, and Newberry's ranked number 1 in the sack. So number 9 in the country, something like that. That tells me how good they're playing. However, Wise is not playing good right now. Their quarterback's hurt, tailback's hurt.
Here we
But
go.
however, I think they come back this week and get the W.
Oh, me.
Now, boys, I'm an alumni of Wise, but I'm picking Emory because I watched them there a little bit and that was impressive what I saw. And I think they're moving in the right direction, even though they've had a couple of close overtime losses. So I'm going with Emory.
Overtime.
And I'm playing to win too, so that's a lot to do with it. All right, that's all of our picks for this week. I don't have anything else. You got anything, Coach? You got a riddle or a question for me?
I do. I really do today. The riddle today is, why did the golfer bring 2 pairs of pants?
I don't know that.
Why did the golfer bring 2 pairs of pants?
You got me on that?
Stop.
Do I tell it now or wait?
I'll tell it.
In case he got a hole in one.
Case you got a hold of one. All right, that's a good one. As far as daddy jokes go, it was a pretty good one.
That's right.
All right, I don't have anything else. You got anything else?
I'm good to go.
All right, until next time, folks, I am Coach Moore,
Coach Tester.
Coach Grigger.
reminding you that you can build a man a fire and keep him warm for a day. You can set him on fire and keep him warm for the rest of his life. Good night.